The following morning, Laura awoke soon after dawn, as light fell through the uncurtained windows. She slipped from beneath the throws, leaving Dan sleeping peacefully. She pulled on jeans and a t-shirt, stepped into her sandals, and went outside, shutting the door as quietly as she could. The air was pure and still, and early sunshine sparkled on the heavy dew. In the valley sat cotton candy mist, and the distant hills stood softly, their edges blurred and colours muted by the moist air. Swallows and house martins swooped and dipped, hungry for their breakfasts, catching the first rise of insects of the day. The honeysuckle and roses had not yet warmed to release their scent, so the strongest smell was of wet grass and bracken. Laura smiled, breathing deeply, and walked lightly through the gate into the meadows. She hadn't the courage to head off onto the mountain on her own just yet, but could not wait to explore the woods at the end of the fields. By the time she reached the first towering oaks, her feet were washed clean by the dew. She felt wonderfully refreshed and awake. As she wandered among the trees, she had the sense of a place where time had stood still, where man had left only a light footprint. Here were trees older than memory, trees that had sheltered farmers and walkers for generations, trees that had been meeting points for lovers and horse dealers, trees that had provided fuel and food for families and for creatures of the forest with equal grace. As she walked deeper into the woods, she noticed the quality of sound around her change. Gone were the open vistas and echoes of the meadows and their mountain backdrop. Here, even the tiniest noises were close up, bouncing back off the trunks and branches, kept in by the dense foliage. The colours altered subtly, too. With the trees in full leaf, the sunlight was filtered through bright green, giving a curious tinge to the woodland below. White wood anemones were not white at all, but the palest shade of Naples yellow. The silver lichens, which grew in abundance, bore a hint of olive. Even the miniature violets reflected a suggestion of viridian. Laura followed a narrow, meandering sheep track. Passing through a sunny glade, she was surprised to find the ground muddied and churned. Looking closer, she could clearly make out the tracks of a small wheeled vehicle. Who would be driving around in here? Her silent question was soon answered, as the peace was broken by the roar of an approaching engine. She was suddenly conscious of the fact that this was not her land. She had no idea where the public footpaths might be, if indeed there were any. She thought of disappearing into the undergrowth, but within seconds a quad bike sped into view. Its driver slewed the ugly machine to a halt in front of her. A sheepdog with a matted coat kept its precarious grip on the back of the bike. Laura felt wrong-footed at being discovered somewhere she had no business being. She had intended to talk to the local farmers and ask permission to walk on the land near Penlyn. She did not want to upset her neighbours on day one. She put on a sunny smile. "Good morning," she said brightly, raising her voice above the noise of the engine. The man on the quad stared hard at her. He was small and wiry, and, Laura reckoned, would not see 70 again. His scrawny face jutted out beneath a grubby flat cap. Despite the time of year, he wore a heavy tweed jacket tied around the middle with baler twine. His hands were as gnarled and wrinkled as the roots of the trees around them. Laura tried again. "It's a beautiful day, isn't it? I couldn't resist exploring. Sorry if I'm on your land." Still he did not answer.